Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you, dear students. We are learning class 9 science biology. In that, we are learning chapter 14 natural resources. Yes, dear students, that in our last video we had seen the overview intro of the biogeochemical cycles. I hope, dear students, that now you are clear with the word biogeochemical cycles. In this chapter natural resources, we have to learn four different types of biogeochemical cycles, that is water cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle and oxygen cycle. So today we are starting with our cycle, and the first cycle, the cycle which we are going to learn today, that is water cycle. Okay, so I hope, dear students, this video will be clear to you about the water cycle. So this video goes over how water moves through the environment. In this video, we will learn that how water moves through the environment. Actually, the water cycle have the different parts, including evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and again coming back to the earth's surface. So all this parts we will learn in detail today, so you will get the clear idea about the water cycle. Definitely, dear students, might be water cycle is very clear to you because nowadays rainy season is going on, rain is drizzling over here. So might be it is very clear to you that how the clouds form, how rain occurs, and how that water store inside the surface of the earth. So let's begin with the water cycle, dear students. Okay, dear students, water rains down to the earth on stormy days. Yes, now onwards only the rainy season is going on. The rain is drizzling. So it is a very clear phenomenon. It is a very clear example to you, dear students, that water rains down to the earth. The water which comes down through the rain on the earth, it gets soaked up into the ground. That is also known by you. So water movement is part of the water cycle, and the water cycle is important to all living things on the earth. Definitely water is the very necessity thing, very necessary substance for all living organisms. Each and every living organisms require water, needs water. So water is a very basic requirement of all living organisms. There are other cycles in your life. What is cycle actually? What we are not talking here about the bicycle, dear students. We are talking here about the cycles. For example, your daily routine is also one kind of cycle, let's see let's see, dear students, your daily routine. Nowadays you are at home, you people are not coming to school due to the unavoidable circumstances. So what will be your daily routine? Might be you woke up early in the morning, you go to school, we cannot say. You go to bathroom, brush your teeth. Might be after brushing your teeth you are taking some breakfast, then might be reading the books. Either you are doing painting or playing, or whatever the hobbies you people having, you are doing that particular work. So this is your daily routine, right? So these each and every event, that is waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, having the breakfast, or doing your any one activity for the whole day, these all events are a part of cycle. This is called as one complete cycle. And again at the night you go to bed and sleep. Again next morning you woke up, you are doing the same processes. Means you are performing a one cycle every day. That is your daily routine. The daily routine is also called as a cycle. Getting, dear students, and the activities you are doing at the whole day, they are the events, they are the part of the cycle. This cycle repeats itself every day. So the water cycle is also a set of repeated events that happen over and over again. Getting, dear student, water cycle is also a type of cycle which having different sets which is repeated after one over again. Which are that parts? They are the evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and the collection of water back again. These are the repeated events of water cycle. Now, these events happen over and over again. So, I hope, dear students, at least the idea of the water cycle is clear to you. Now, we are moving with the water cycle. Okay, so this is the actual water cycle. As I told you now, that four parts of it, that is evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Evaporation, you know that the water which is present on the earth's surface gets evaporated in the form of water vapor during the in the presence of sunlight or during the daytime. After the water vapor which goes upside, it is stored in body. It is stored in the form of clouds. And after from that clouds, again the water will come out on the surface of the earth. This is called as precipitation. And whatever the water comes down in the form of rain or snow, that store inside the earth's surface. So this whole cycle is called as water cycle. Now we will learn the different parts of the water cycle. The first is evaporation. Yes, dear students, evaporation. Actually, water is stored in bodies of water like lakes, streams, oceans, right? This water floats up to the top of the lake. Yes, of course, the water turns into gas and gas rises up into the air. This happens because there is less water in the air than in the lake. Water does not like being around too much other water. So water wants to go where there is less water. Now, when liquid water is turned into gas, this is during evaporation. The liquid water turns into gas, and that process is called as evaporation, and that process occurs due to the presence of sunlight or due to the sun. Getting the gas is called vapor. Whatever the gas is goes upside into the atmosphere, that is called as water vapor. Do you have any idea of your day-to-day life that what is water vapor or how evaporation occurs? If I give you a simple example, that leave a glass of water outside for 2 hours, for 3 hours in the sunlight, definitely you will see the level drop, the water level drop. This is an example of evaporation. After 2 hours or 3 hours, if you look at your glass which you have already kept into the sunlight, you can see that water level drops down, and this process is called as evaporation. The water in the glass will turn into vapor, and the vapor will be in the air. So I hope the process of evaporation is clear to you, dear students, that whatever the water is present on the surface of the earth, either it is in lakes, ponds, streams, or oceans, that the water which is in the liquid form turns into gas and goes into the atmosphere. This process is called as evaporation. Dear students, the next is transpiration. I know that you are clear with the transpiration, that is the process of removal of some amount of water into the atmosphere by plants. That process is called as transpiration. A simple example I want to give you, that is, as we release water vapor when we breathe, right, we when we are breathing, we are also releasing some amount of water vapor. In the same way the plants do too. So that process is called as transpiration. So why transpiration is important in water cycle, that also the plants which are removing some amount of water into the atmosphere, that water also goes up, because it is also now in the form of gas, it is also now in the form of water vapor, and this water vapor also helps in the process of water cycle. So the very first is evaporation and second is transpiration. Okay, dear students, the third part is the condensation. The third process is called as condensation. What is condensation? That water vapor which gets evaporated from the surface of the lakes or oceans, that water gets cold as it floats in the air, and then this water vapor turns back into the liquid. Liquid means in the form of water droplets, and that liquid becomes a cloud. So many water droplets combine with each other and form one cloud, and the formation of cloud, this process is called as condensation. Adding, dear students, what is condensation? That whatever the water vapor goes into the air, that water vapor is little bit warm or hot. When that hot water vapor goes up to the air, that water vapor turns into form of liquid, that is water droplets. And so many water droplets combine with each other, they form one cloud, and that process is called as condensation. For example, have you ever seen the water droplets outside of your glass when you fill your glass with chilled water? Yes, we have seen it so many times. Why it occurs or why it happens? Because when you fill chilled water inside the glass, the surface of the glass becomes also chilled. Whenever the air which is present surrounding the glass, it is still warm or hot. When that warm air come into the contact with the chilled surface of the glass, they turn into the liquid, that is into the form of water droplets. So this is the process of condensation, and the same process occurs in our nature also, that is formation of clouds. And the last event and the very important event of water cycle is precipitation, dear students. What is precipitation? Precipitation is the water released from clouds in the form of rain or snow or sleet or hail. This process is called as precipitation. Whatever the water droplets are present into the clouds, their water droplets again coming back to the earth's surface, either they are in the form of rain or in the form of snow or in the form of sleet or in the form of hail. This process is called as precipitation. So I hope, dear students, you are clear with the four events of the water cycle, that is evaporation, transpiration, condensation and precipitation. Yes, dear students. So I hope now you are clear that after evaporating so much of water vapor, why we cannot see the seas and oceans drying up. So this is the reason that whatever the water goes up in the form of water vapor, that again coming back to the earth's surface, getting that during the process of evaporation, water gets upside, then that evaporation from transpiration also water gets upside, condensation process occurs, and through precipitation again that water coming back to the earth's surface, collected by the earth, and again some of the water returning to the rivers. One important thing you should have to be note here, dear students, that as water flows through the over rocks, they also containing soluble minerals within it, and and when such water goes back to the rivers, rivers also carry many nutrients from the land to the sea, and that nutrients are used by the marine organisms. So this is all about the water cycle, dear students. I hope now, dear students, that you are clear with the water cycle.